It's Weekly Weird News, and we absolutely must start the show with some news that broke Friday evening involving a long-running character we thought we wouldn't be hearing much from for quite a while. A guy who, in a very short period of time, cemented his place in the Weekly Weird News Rogues Gallery. George Anthony DeVolder Santos.
Wow.
The guy ran for Congress in a district apparently no one was paying attention to, somehow won, and then immediately, before even taking office, was outed as a prolific liar who had seemingly fabricated his entire resume and backstory, including the schools he'd attended, the jobs he'd worked, his Jewish identity, his mom supposedly dying in the 9/11 attacks, and just so much more. And it didn't take long to figure out that in addition to all that lying, there may have been some blatant campaign finance violations, which are crimes.
And lots of other crimes, just ones that didn't have to do with this election in particular, but plenty.
A life of crime, you might say. Mm-hmm. The man's Wikipedia is long. It is 90% just lies that he's told and crimes that he's committed. Mm-hmm. And it was all so egregious and so embarrassing that even a lot of his fellow Republicans had no qualms about throwing him under the bus and voting to expel him from Congress after less than a year, making him the 6th person ever expelled from the House and the first in over 100 years.
Yeah, there's almost a new saying in there. Live your life as if you want the shortest Wikipedia page possible.
Yeah.
Or just no Wikipedia
Or
page.
be gay, do crimes.
Yeah, but just then don't run for office by doing more crimes.
Yeah, you can't do both.
Mm-hmm. By that point, though, he hadn't even been convicted of a crime yet, this George Santos. But the case had him so dead to rights that it seemed pointless to keep him around. When the case did eventually go to trial, the list of charges was so long that Santos wisely chose to plead guilty and spend 7 years in prison instead of the possible 22 years that he was facing. So we figured that was the last that we'd be hearing from George Santos for quite some time.
And what a run.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? What a great way to hang your hat at the end and say, it's fine. If we don't hear about George Santos for 7 years, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, we got at least 7 years worth of content out of him.
Yeah.
So it's like, take a break.
And it was kind of needed, too. He'd played himself out. You want to have the big re-entry as in demand as possible. 7 years and then George Santos comes back. Everyone's like, all right, well, throwback. Blast from the past. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah. It was very exciting. And
but we're never going to get to that point. Despite George Santos never really at any point being more than an embarrassment and a liability for Trump and the Republican Party, by the way. George Santos is a free man. He's changed his name to George Freeman because he changes his name all the time anyway.
Yeah, Trump has commuted his sentence.
Yeah. The announcement was, of course, as is tradition now, made on Truth Social. So here you go.
George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there are many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison. I started to think about George when the subject of Democrat Senator Richard Da Nong Dick Blumenthal came up again. As everyone remembers, Da Nong stated for almost 20 years that he was a proud Vietnam veteran, having endured the worst of the war, watching the wounded and the dead as he raced up the hills and down the valleys, blood streaming from his face. He was a great hero. He would leak to any and all who would listen. And then it happened. He was a complete and total fraud. He never went to Vietnam. He never saw Vietnam. He never experienced the battles there or anywhere else. His war hero status and even minimal service in our military was totally and completely made up. This is far worse than what George Santos did, and at least Santos had the courage, conviction, and intelligence to always vote Republican. George has been in solitary confinement for long stretches of time and by all accounts has been horribly mistreated. Therefore, I just signed a commutation releasing George Santos from prison immediately. Good luck, George. Have a great life.
He does sign it off as though he does not want to hear from George Santos at all.
Do not call.
Do not make contact with my
I don't want to hear from you ever again.
This is reliant on you never speaking to me.
I'm doing you a very big favor. Please fuck off.
I will literally, as you've seen over the past couple of weeks and months, I have the power to put you in prison immediately. So if you ever try to contact me after this, you will be right back. Yeah. Right back there. But yeah, it is obviously rich coming from Donald Trump, the guy who literally dodged the draft for Vietnam to comment on this other guy. But whatever, George Santos doesn't care. He's like, am I free to go? Who's this guy? Great.
He's the luckiest man in the world.
So Trump's brain is just absolute mush, obviously. The stuff about Richard Blumenthal is such a weird non sequitur. And that's a story from 15 years ago, where the then candidate for Senate got called out for a few times he implied he'd served in Vietnam rather than the truth, which is that he'd served during Vietnam, but not in Vietnam. How the hell this is connected to George Santos is anyone's guess, but the idea that some seemingly very light stolen valor is a worse crime than massive financial fraud is ridiculous. And Trump even makes it clear that this is mainly about George Santos being rewarded for always being a loyal Republican.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
The stuff about conditions in prisons is also a total non sequitur, since Republicans only give a fuck about that when it affects someone they know and have never even attempted to do anything legislatively to improve prison conditions. That would ruin that talking point. Trump has pardoned a staggering amount of horrible people who definitely did the shit they were convicted of. But this honestly might take the cake. And for what?
That's what's so baffling about it. He doesn't get anything. No one gets anything out of this.
I feel like Republicans don't like him either. Don't like George Santos either.
Don't.
Yeah.
He's not an insider. He was outed before he even took office.
And it's totally out of left field, too. Like, no one saw this particular commutation coming today.
Yeah, so Marjorie Taylor Greene has been, like, complaining and begging Trump to pardon him for a while now. But,
still, you know who's really upset? The Tiger King.
Yeah, Joe Exotic is, he's having a real bad night, I imagine.
Yeah. And one of his guys just got mauled to death recently, too. So,
yeah,
double bad. Anyways, let's find out what this is all for, or an attempt to. Here's the New York Times.
Mr. Santos, 37, reported to prison in July after pleading guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. If he is released immediately, he will have served fewer than 3 months of an 87-month sentence. He will also no longer be required to pay more than $370,000 in court-ordered restitution to his victims. Fuck them, I guess, according to a copy of the commutation posted online by Ed Martin, the U.S. pardon attorney. Mr. Santos' commutation, which cuts his sentence short but does not wipe out his conviction, is part of a blitz of grants of political clemency that Mr. Trump has doled out to his political allies or other figures who have been embraced by his right-wing supporters. For months, it looked as if Mr. Santos, who rose to political prominence as an adherent to Mr. Trump's MAGA movement, would not be granted similar favor. Even as the president gave sweeping pardons to those charged in connection with the 2021 attacks on the Capitol, Mr. Santos' attempts to get his sentence reduced were unsuccessful. Mr. Santos' commutation is the latest startling twist in an outlandish political odyssey that saw him move from a little-known political figure from Long Island to an infamous example of deceit and political fraud.
His commutation comes after pleading from some of his Republican allies, including Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, the brash Republican and MAGA adherent. "Thank you, President Trump, for releasing George Santos," Ms. Greene wrote in a social media post on Friday night. Ms. Greene sent a letter in August asking the Justice Department for a commutation. Around that time, Mr. Trump, who had by this point issued numerous pardons to staunch supporters, did not rule out offering one to Mr. Santos. But in an interview with Newsmax, Mr. Trump said that he had not yet been asked. "He lied like hell," Mr. Trump said at the time, "and I didn't know him, but he was 100% for Trump." Yeah, so kiss the ring.
He's guilty as sin. Yeah, he did that shit, but he did like me a lot, so I don't know. I guess I could.
Yeah.
Like the part about the people George Santos ripping off them not getting any restitution now is like, this is not a victimless.
No, there were
piece of
victims
corruption
here, Mr. President. Yeah.
Like Trump is screwing over a lot of people, probably a lot of Republicans by doing this. I just don't fucking get it. Like,
well, that's because we're on like 10D chess by now, and you will find out.
Like, I don't know how can anyone look at this and then say that this isn't just blatantly fucking corrupt?
I don't know, but nevertheless, we keep seeing how it does get explained away. So this will be an interesting one because this is such a like high-profile weirdo character for Trump to like back.
And like, if you think George Santos, after everything he's been through, is going to get out of jail and be a good boy now, no, I believe you will be proven wrong in record time.
Yeah.
This man, the worst thing you can do for a like pathological scammer and liar is give them a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Because the crimes that he committed, the stuff he did, like even the stuff that he didn't get convicted for, was like the kind of shit you only do if you have like, you're so messed up in the head that you think you can just like get away with fucking anything. And now he literally has gotten away with everything.
Well, I mean, you could pull that back a bit further and say that's exactly the type of environment Trump was created in.
Well, yes.
So there you go. Anyways.
Yeah, it continues. Since entering custody in a federal prison in southern New Jersey, Mr. Santos, rarely one to shy away from the media spotlight, had been writing a regular column about his time in prison in the South Shore Press, a newspaper on Long Island. In September, Mr. Santos wrote that he had been moved into the special housing unit after his lawyer reported to prison officials that he had received a death threat against him. Ms. Green also said that she had received a letter from Mr. Santos saying that he was in solitary confinement. In his accounts, Mr. Santos described the isolation he felt. He said that prison officials told him that he would remain in special housing until a full investigation into the threat against him had been finished. On Monday, the South Shore Press published a direct plea from Mr. Santos to Mr. Trump, describing his experience as unlike anything most Americans could ever comprehend. He appealed to Mr. Trump on a personal basis. Mr. President, I have nowhere else to turn, Mr. Santos wrote. You have always been a man of second chances, a leader who believes in redemption and renewal. I am asking you now, from the depths of my heart, to extend that same belief to me.
Well, now I guess we're going to see what Mr. Santos has in store.
We have no idea what's coming.
Uh-huh. This reminds me of the live stream of Papa John when he was covered in sweat after eating a month's worth of pizza and then said that the reckoning was coming and then COVID happened.
I mean, George Santos definitely, he can get back on the influencer.
Oh, absolutely.
Thing, but like, I feel like there were diminishing returns. With
No. He needs, you know what, Mr. Trump, go a step further. Make sure that he gets a daily podcast on Turning Point USA.
Sure.
They're going to love him there.
He could be the next Charlie Kirk.
That's right.
You gotta try him out at least. Everyone needs their shot.
There's nothing that Turning Point USA viewers love more than big gay politicians.
Big gay immigrant convicted criminal politicians.
Yes.
It's what the MAGA youths crave.
That's right. Get him on the air. But moving on now, we've heard just so much over the past few years about this male loneliness epidemic and what it might explain about how our society transformed so much over the past few years. Now, instead of maintaining real-life friendships and romantic relationships, men are increasingly spending time alone, listening to podcasts, gambling on sports, blowing money on crypto, frying their brains with AI, and so on.
Gooning.
But are these men really alone? Since, sure, COVID-19 was kind of a tipping point when a lot of people's interactions with other human beings became primarily via the internet. And while that's no substitution for genuine human connection, it is not nothing. It's definitely something.
Yeah.
It's allowed guys with very niche interests to find a sense of community that they'd likely be too shy to seek out in the real world. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's really great. Now, for example, over on reddit.com/r/comebiggerloads, you've got tens of thousands of dudes commiserating over their mutual interest in coming bigger loads. And this week, GQ, Gentleman's Quarterly, took a deep dive into this world of self-described Nutmaxxers.
Nutmaxxers.
I haven't peed in weeks.
I'm nutmaxing. I'm on my grind. I'm aura farming. But most importantly, I am nutmaxing. I am maxing that nut.
Yeah.
Some of the most important discoveries in medicine came from brave people experimenting on themselves. Jonas Salk tested his polio vaccine on himself and his family. Isaac Newton poked a blunt needle into his own eye socket to understand how we see light. And using their own bodies as test subjects, the Redditors on r/comebiggerloads have determined that a combination of zinc, pygium, L-citrulline, and lecithin is the holy grail of cum. There, 47,000 visitors are reading more than 600 weekly contributions concerning the best supplements for, apologies for what you're about to read, shooting ropes, monster loads, and Spider-Man-like webs, methods for cum training for volume, and how to turn your money shot into the big one. What turned all these men into citizen jizz scientists? a growing interest in male self-optimization, a pornified sense of what's normal, and a dearth of scientific consensus around the topic.
Mike, 27, began trying to increase the size of his ejaculations in 2021 after seeing an ad for Seminax pills on a porn site. Of course, I'm like, this is just bullshit, he says. But then I started reading on Reddit about it. I was just going on like, what are these supplements doing? Quarantined with his college girlfriend in her parents' beach house, there wasn't much to do but have sex. Mike, who like others in the story, asked to just use his first name to protect his privacy, struggled to keep up with her libido and desire to be ejaculated upon. I feel drained. I feel exhausted. I feel like I can't satisfy this girl, Mike remembers thinking. After once or twice a day, not much is coming out. So he turned to supplements. Probably for like 6 months, I was experimenting with just different stacks, combinations of supplements I would read about on Reddit, Mike says. Marcus, a nurse practitioner from North Carolina, has experimented with many stacks he learned about on Come Bigger Loads. He has grown comfortable enough in the subreddit to ejaculate into a graduated shot glass and share photos of it with his peers there. I like the community, says Marcus, who posts under the username Nosy Trees. The biggest debate currently is on the dosing of the supplements needed to get results. Cool. Like I said, there's a community out there for everyone. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is generally harmless. I feel like the ancillary problems with this are probably pretty bad. Where you're getting to this point, like this is a hyperfixation.
It is a hyperfixation, and from the sounds of it, it's like basically the stuff that people who get like way too into going to the gym start. At first it's like, creatine is perfectly safe, protein, nothing wrong with that, and then you start taking more and more of these supplements, and it's like, at this point, you should probably just take steroids. I don't know. This is a lot of shit you're putting into your body. And at least those guys have like something to show for it. I mean, I guess these guys do too, but for a much smaller audience.
Yeah. Well.
So if we head over to Reddit and have a look for ourselves, they got all sorts of different recommendations for various supplements. You got zinc, fish oil, something called Load Boost.
Oh, that's for my washer dryer. That's how did that get in there?
Sunflower, lecithin, ashwagandha, selenium. So many more.
You put some vitamin D in there too, just to top you up a little bit.
A lot of the guys are like, you need the vitamin D.
Yeah,
just stands for dick.
Might as well for your everyday supplements.
Some of these guys have pictures, and it's like a full medicine cabinet of supplements they're taking specifically to make their cum bigger.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I have to assume that everyone on this message board is in a committed relationship.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of them are, but
I don't think all of them are wasting it.
I don't know. I didn't dig too deep into this very popular subreddit, but I have to assume there are people on there who are mostly doing this for their own enjoyment.
Yeah, which is it's funny. It's just like, it's literally just for you and a mess that you want to clean up.
Yeah, but it's my mess. I made that.
Yeah, and I guess it's a cool little parlor trick for you.
At a time of male loneliness, when everyone's telling me I'm wrong about everything, it's nice to have something I built myself that I can admire myself.
One of the only times in my life I truly feel in control.
Yeah. When did it become illegal for men to have goals and interests?
Well, right here, I think, actually, this is when.
Yeah, I'm going to make it illegal. Along with like gambling and everything else. But there's dudes on the subreddit going even further. They're doing just hormone injections, Kegel exercises, semen retention, and off-label usage of psychiatric drugs.
Oh,
always a great idea.
Yeah, you should just do what Sting does and just hold it in for like 36 hours. Like right before you're about to do it, and then just hold off.
I mean, he was edging before that was cool.
Yeah, he kind of invented it.
Also, lots of posts of just actual photographs of these dudes' loads in various receptacles to demonstrate the kind of volume they're achieving. And it's impressive. That's a lot of cum.
You're saving. That's 3 loads. I'm gonna need a video with proof. This is like Twin Galaxies. You got to send in the VHS proof.
I mean, some of this volume that we're looking at here, it's like they've found a way to make jizzing feel the way it feels when you take a gigantic shit. Like there is a you're losing weight in the process.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what if my dick could feel the way my asshole feels
When you're done,
when I just drop like a 10-foot snake in the toilet?
when you're done, you're gonna look like one of those dehydrated SpongeBob close-ups where they do this.
Yeah, there's also, I saw a guy on there who was warning other users that all of his nutmaxing may have contributed to his prostate cancer diagnosis.
I thought it was supposed to work in the opposite direction, but maybe when you overdo it.
Yeah, I think it is. There's a minimum effective dose for everything. And he seems to believe that he gave himself prostate cancer by taking so many of these supplements.
Yeah.
And as an actual urologist in the article points out, despite all the recent interest in this topic, there really isn't a ton of science to back a lot of this up.
Well, that's because they're not studying it.
Uh-huh.
That's why this community exists.
RFK is going to do something about it.
Yeah. They're already crowdsourcing it.
And yeah, they said, like, as they point out, the FDA doesn't review Load Boost or any of the many other pills advertised specifically for this purpose. They notoriously don't really test any sort of supplements, and that's how you end up with lead and Huel and other such products.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's just one urologist's opinion, and the article quotes a chiropractor who disagrees.
Yep, strongest backs I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
The mixed clinical data on specific supplements has not discouraged men from taking them. Dr. Kirk McCanch, a chiropractor from Alpena, Michigan, recommends more than 24 ingredients to patients via his Patreon, Intimacy Nutrition Doc.
This guy's legit.
Yeah. I try to balance things based on ancient wisdom, biblical wisdom from the Song of Solomon, Taoist tradition, and Tantric tradition.
Oh, he's spitting. This guy knows it. He knows all of this. I trust him.
And then I look for common threads that weave between all of those in scientific papers. That's literally the doing my own research excuse that people say online.
I like going through. I mean, a chiropractic may be bullshit, but it's still it's work to get that certification. I like going through all that and deciding, nah, I'm gonna be a jizz doctor instead on Patreon.
Yeah, I mean the money's probably better.
Probably.
Within the amateur bigger loads community, the lack of medical consensus on supplements is not a deterrent, but a reason to go deeper on their own. If people waited around for science to prove everything, then we'd all be dead by the time they did, Dr. McCanch says. So I think people are just stepping forward. Now that the internet's there, they can do some research and think about it and not wait for 20 years until they get around to doing a study that may or may not be biased or paid off by a pharmaceutical company. They don't want you shooting long ropes.
This is the most trustworthy medical professional I've ever seen.
Yeah, why would he lie?
I will take all 28 of your supplements.
Why would he lie? He doesn't have any financial incentive to do so. Oh, wait, he does on his PayPal or whatever it is, where he's giving you Patreon, where he's giving you the supplement ingredients.
I'm just shocked that a chiropractor wouldn't just do what chiropractors usually do and say oh, that's just your C4 vertebrae.
Yeah.
Just need to get that aligned, and then your loads are going to be gigantic.
Yeah, exactly. Bring them down for a little adjustment.
Yeah, and you will need to come back every 3 weeks, to make sure everything's all lined up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just gonna fuck around with your bones a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because that pop, it's loud, it's satisfying,
feels good,
and the things that are gonna be popping out of your urethra,
you're never gonna believe it.
Yep.
Make sure she's strapped in.
Stephen, 54, from North Carolina, sought out Dr. McCanch after complications from type 2 diabetes affected his sex life with a new 10 years younger girlfriend. There was one particular time when we had first got together where I came and she looked at me and was like, "That's it?" said Stephen, who asked to use his first name only for privacy. "When I would ejaculate, it was hardly anything there, man, and it was clear." Stephen compares the inability to come to that of a frustrated artist. "Whatever picture comes to mind, you can paint and get it on the canvas with precision, right?" he says. "Then you injure your damn arm and you still have these visions of these pieces that you could paint. But now you got an injury and you can't paint like you used to."
What? Stop using that metaphor.
I got visions of just painting the entire wall, but my paintbrush, it's not soaking up the paint.
Yeah.
I need lots of paint.
You ever see those graffiti tag artists that use the pen that drips? I got a lot of ideas.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dr. McCanch recommended a number of supplements, plus replacing chicken with beef, coffee with matcha, and walking 10,000 steps a day.
I mean, that's just good advice.
Yeah.
Except for the beef and chicken thing. I think you're supposed to do the opposite.
I mean, I don't think it fucking matters. Stephen also eats 4 stalks of celery daily, a trick he picked up from porn star Peter North. About 1 month later, he says his ejaculate is larger, thicker, and whiter, on top of improved erection quality and performance. Load size is just as important to me as being able to get it all the way up and go a good 20-minute round, he says. He's painting pictures again. The artist is recovered.
I can't help but notice that he did not mention the girlfriend.
Nothing about how she feels about this.
She's probably not there anymore, if she was ever there at all.
Hey, we got the credit card bill this month. It says you spent $10,000 at GNC.
I just imagine him like texting or calling like 3 months later and being like, "Hey, come back! You won't believe the size of the loads I'm like." And he's just like, "That's not why I left you." Why would that ever be the reason?
I don't know. A lot of these guys, I read a lot of posts, and a lot of these guys are like, my wife, my girlfriend, they love it. They can't get enough of it. They're always saying bigger.
I'm sure it's nice.
Please
as
make
an
the
extra,
loads bigger.
I'm assuming it's nice as an extra cherry on top, but like, I feel like if this guy's in a relationship with someone and like the one thing is that his cum's too small, then it's like
that shouldn't be a deal breaker.
No.
And like, I mean, I get like it could be. I can see like this could be a symptom of other issues going on nutritionally for you that are worth exploring.
That's the thing is a lot of these guys probably have like really bad diets and exercise habits and a bunch of other things. They're probably fucking jerking off 5 times a day, and it's like, well, where do you think it's all going? Into the goddamn handkerchief.
Actually, a lot of these guys are into semen retention.
I know, but
they're storing it for like weeks at a time. They're ready to burn.
They say
they're
that
edging.
They say that, but when you're like,
they're doing the opposite of gooning.
Yeah.
These aren't gooners. These are edgers. Because if you
look,
goon, your loads are going to be real small.
I think that some of them are being liars.
Yeah, there's probably a few gooners in there.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, this article honestly goes into way more depth than you're even looking for.
Yeah.
But one of the more interesting parts comes near the end, when they address the fact that despite these Redditors all insisting their partners are begging for impossibly large loads, some women are not into this, and they do find it fucking gross. They reference one of the top posts on the subreddit, written by a guy named Marcus, which reads, "Hookup said my loads are disgusting, LMAO. Was able to find a new chick that was down to fool around. Luckily, we weren't able to meet up for a week, so I was able to save up, and then got some really good edging in before seeing her. Luckily, she didn't want to smash, but was willing to give me head. So I was able to sit back and let it build even more. Finally got to the point of no return and tried to relax my pelvic floor as much as possible so my pre-cum would leak out like piss." And we can't read this. And when I tell you I absolutely soaked her. I finished, please join the channel. We're not making
this is
episode.
demonetized.
I finished shooting on her and she straight up told me that my cum shot didn't even look real. I said, "Hot, right?" And she goes, "No, honestly, that was disgusting." When I left, I was kind of self-conscious. On the ride home, I realized how hot it was and that her reaction is exactly the type of stuff I was looking for.
Oh.
I hope she tells her friends about the guy with the nasty freak loads.
Okay. We're learning things about the nut-maxing mindset here.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this didn't happen either.
I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. And this is an increasing problem with Reddit, which, like, first of all, the thing that annoys me most about Reddit is I follow a bunch of subreddits. Just show me that shit. Stop showing me recommendations.
I've noticed, they put
it's
a lot
super
more stuff
fucking
here.
annoying that you can't control your feed anymore. But for some reason, they're always showing me subreddits of, like, people like, am I overreacting? Am I the asshole? And, like, at least half the time, it's screenshots of conversations that I'm like, this is 100% fake. Mm-hmm. Either this is fake or the person posting it is like 14 years old.
Yes.
And it's fake.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's increasingly hard because
this is like erotica.
People are like sort of karma farming, or they're getting something out of their system in a lot of subreddits these days.
This is why, aside from the positive message going around and meeting up with other people in your communities for political purposes, this is why No King's Day is good. It gets people out of the house and away from the message boards.
It's not just No King's Day. It's No Kinks Day.
Yeah.
Get that shit out of here.
Get it out. Stop. Put
No Kinks Day.
Put the hose away. Put a kink in the hose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this would appear to be a fetish more than anything for a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, I don't know what you call it, but like flashers, where like they do it because they want you to be like, ew,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Uh-huh.
Your penis is so small, and they're like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
These guys want to just bust an impossibly large load and have women be like, get out of my house right now. do not call me.
95% of the people aren't getting laid.
But yeah, as the article points out, it seems to be a symptom of watching too much pornography and developing unrealistic expectations around sexual intimacy and sexual performance. And since most porn is made for men, this doesn't necessarily translate into satisfying experiences for women. As I've gotten older, I've encountered very few sexual partners that are truly into it, Marcus says. Some of them seem to tolerate it more than anything. Hink, a men's sexual health content creator, finds that increased load size is a niche area of self-improvement in his community. Most men are far more concerned with getting a bigger penis, better erections, and lasting longer, Hink says. A lot of girls don't like semen and don't want a mouth full of semen. So this is, I think, a little more selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Watch a cunnilingus tutorial instead.
that's nutmaxing, a thing I didn't know about. Didn't really want to know about it, but now I do. I know about it, and I don't like it.
You got to watch out. December 1st.
Oh, God.
Yeah, No Nut November. They're going to be saving it up the whole time.
Yeah, No November is, that subreddit is going to go way up.
That's right. But moving on from all that nastiness to a story about a man's sexual obsessions completely ruining his life and possibly putting the U.S. nuclear arsenal in danger. And this comes to us from 404 Media, who got the scoop on perhaps the wildest case of gooning gone wrong that's ever been published.
Let's go.
On March 23rd, 2023, a Department of Energy employee attempted to back up his personal porn collection. His goal was to use the 187,000 images collected over the past 30 years
This man's a historian.
as training data for an AI image generator. He said he had depression, something he'd struggled with since he was a kid. During the depressive episode, he felt extremely isolated and lonely and started playing with tools that made generative images as a coping strategy, including robot pornography, according to a DOE report on the incident. Fueled by depression, the man meant to back up his collection and create a base for training AI to make better robot pornography, but he uploaded it to the government computer by accident. He didn't realize what he'd done until DOE investigators came calling 6 months later to ask why their servers were now filled with thousands of pornographic pictures. 6 months is just long enough for him to completely forget about it.
Yeah.
The individual thought that even though his personal drives were connected to his employer's, they were somehow partitioned, and his personal material would not contaminate his government-issued computer, a DOE report said.
187,000 pornographic images.
That's a lot of gooning.
Collected over 30 years.
Yeah.
Meticulous.
Yeah.
He probably, in the early days, had to buy an expensive, scanner.
Yeah.
Scan these images from magazines.
That's right.
To save them for later. So then, across so many hard drives and thumb drives and.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily want this person dealing with a public-facing position, but I feel like these skills have got to translate to some sort of wonderful administrative position.
Yeah, I'm sure this makes him.
And this is just a little oopsie.
This is what if you want your nuclear arsenal to be in good hands, those hands have got to do a little bit of good.
I mean, who among us has been able to hold on to that much pornography for that long?
When you're dealing with nukes, you need mental clarity.
That's right.
And the quickest way to clear your mind is to bust a load.
Yeah. Make sure it's a big one.
And several times throughout the day, looking at hundreds of thousands of pornographic images.
Of course.
And using those images to train an AI model to create new ones for you. I mean,
as everyone does.
Yeah. According to the report, the man was using his cell phone to look at AI-generated porn images, but the screen wasn't big enough, so he moved the pictures to his government computer. He also reported that since the 1990s, he had maintained a giant compressed file with several directories of pornographic images, which he moved to his personal cloud storage drive so he could use them to make generative images, he said. It was this directory of sexually explicit images that was ultimately uploaded to his employer's network when he performed a backup procedure on March 23rd, 2023. The 187,000 images represented a lifetime's collection.
Yeah.
He stated that the sexually explicit images were an accumulation of 25 to 30 years worth of pornographic material he had collected on his personal computer, he said. He told a DOE psychologist that he should have realized he'd backed up his personal porn collection to a DOE network, but said he was not thinking multiple steps ahead or considering the consequences at the time because he was so depressed. According to the DOE employee, he's been treated for depression since he was a kid. He has ups and downs and was in a bad headspace when he accidentally uploaded his entire porn collection. He admitted he violated HR rules, but did not think it was very wrong, according to the DOE ruling. He also asserted that his employer was spying on him a little too much and compared the interview with his employer following the discovery of his conduct to the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, what the hell? Get out of my hard drive. To his credit, apparently just like totally above board pornography, nothing too strange, and a lot of it AI generated. So
yeah, I mean, this could have been a lot worse.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
for sure.
Yeah, but spoiler alert, he appealed the loss of his clearance, and they rejected the appeal because they deemed it likely that he'd probably do something like this again in the future.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been caught red-handed doing something like this, it's probably not a good idea to be like, I don't think what I did was that bad.
Yeah.
Also, like, why are you giving me the Spanish Inquisition over this? What? I'm just a Department of Energy employee with, like, a security clearance.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Anyway, can I have the clearance back, please?
Make sure you hand me the right nuclear football because I labeled my pornography as nuclear football.
Nuclear fleshlight.
Yeah. But speaking of male loneliness and its consequences, while some guys spend hundreds of dollars a month on supplements to make their loads bigger, and some guys collect hundreds of thousands of pornographic images over several decades, other guys with enough money to spend, they just go out and they buy themselves a Tesla Cybertruck.
Yeah.
The manliest thing you can do.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you have a humiliation kink,
Yeah.
this is the car for you.
Exactly.
Every day, a new humiliation.
That's right. It's been a while now since peak Cybertruck, which never reached anywhere near the demand that Elon Musk was sure that it would. But there's still Cybertrucks out there, and there's still plenty of onlookers giving them the finger. A reporter from Wired recently attended a Cybertruck meetup in Palm Springs to get a sense of how things are going for those poor bastards. And right off the bat, we got our answer. As we're talking, a woman drives by in a small sedan. "Your cars are fucking ugly," she screams before peeling off. Castillo smiles. "Some people just aren't playing with a full deck of cards," he says serenely. "Sir, some self-reflection, please."
You'd have to be crazy to say that. Not me. Totally normal guy.
You know what she said? For free, by the way, before driving off. Zero cost to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Only a crazy person would do that. Oh, this $100,000 Albatross that I have to stand here and pretend to like? This is completely sane behavior.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The rest of the article is interviews with individual Cybertruck owners featuring photos of them and their rides. Like this guy, Michael, who had his Cybertruck wrapped in a hideous design featuring lightning bolts. Or this guy, Russ, who got his wrapped with something out of Mad Max or Twisted Metal.
Wow.
You know, I guess the real thing wasn't rusting fast enough, so
Hurry up.
he had some custom rust added.
Yeah.
Here's part of the interview with Russ. "How do you feel about becoming a political lightning rod? People occasionally just flip me off or whatever, but nobody's come up to me and tried to make a statement about anything. Personally, it's kind of dumb. It's just a vehicle, so it's ironic that it would even become a political statement, but nonetheless, it is." Editor's note, Taylor was arrested and pleaded guilty to conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. He was later pardoned by President Trump.
Makes sense.
I don't know what everyone's talking about. That's not political to me.
I'm not a political person. Here's a guy named Jose who bought the truck to market his business and isn't super stoked about how that turned out. "Why did you decide to get the car?" "Well, for the marketing. And that's what the truck is used for marketing and advertising events." Reynoso's car is wrapped in his business logo. "How did you feel about Elon Musk when you bought it?" "We didn't know what was coming. The storm that was coming with Elon. By then, I had already spent the money on the truck and accessories and all that. So it was sad to see that." "What was sad?" "Well, for the CEO of a company that makes the product that a lot of Americans buy and use on a daily basis, to put us in the middle of everything because of his controversies. Because when everything was going on, we were the targets. We saw wives and kids being harassed and affected by strangers just because we were driving a Tesla. There was so much hate coming in. So it was shocking, and it was hard to describe and just fear. But thankfully that went by. And among all that, there's a lot of love. So why isn't it your daily driver?" "Well, I renovate homes. And I noticed that people, especially with the big controversy, my clients probably didn't want to see a vehicle like that with such high controversy come in and be a part of their experience.
So he got this as a marketing car.
And now it does the opposite.
Wrapped with his business, and now he specifically avoids showing it to his customers for fear that they will stop hiring him for work. That masterful gambit.
There was a video a couple months back where someone fired their contractor because he showed up in a Cybertruck, and they're like, I don't want that thing parked in front of my. I'll just go with.
It's bad
with
for
anyone
business.
else.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you personally feel no way about it,
Yeah.
like it just be having that associated with you and your work is a huge liability.
Yeah.
It has much more downsides than upsides.
Also, it's so funny that this guy talks the way he does about this truck and then shows up to show it off at the meetup.
Well, might as well.
Yeah, the only place that it's accepted.
It's not like I can sell this thing. It is the albatross around my neck. So
That's right.
Might as well go hang out with the January 6th guy. And
Sure. I'm part of the crew now.
here's a guy named Roger who, despite living in San Diego, has a dozen gigantic fog lights attached to his Cybertruck.
Great.
What do you like about the truck? What I love about the truck is just how it's so polarizing. The shape of it, the body of it, the manufacturing technique with the body panels and everything. I just love that it's completely outside of the box. And are you married? I was married, but I'm not married anymore. Women don't like the vehicle. In July, Tesla rolled out a software update to integrate Grok into many of its vehicles. Do you use it? Her name is Ara, and I use her as a therapist. When I'm driving, I'll ask questions, and it actually gives really good therapy advice.
No, it doesn't, sir.
The quintessential Cybertruck owner.
The guy who his wife left him because of the Cybertruck, and now he only talks to his virtual assistant. He sits in his car 24 hours a day.
My
just
wife
chatting.
left me for spending $100,000 on the stupidest car ever, but that's fine. I don't need a wife. I've got Grok.
Yeah.
And Grok keeps me company on long drives.
I'm never alone.
When someone flips me off on the road on a daily basis, Ara's there to comfort me.
Yeah.
Make
They're
me feel
just
good about
jealous.
it. Yeah.
They're just jealous.
Thank you, Ara.
Yeah.
Things are going great for that guy.
Yeah, that guy's life is A-okay. Anyways, we have the headlines half of the show coming right up. But first, we have to let you know this episode is sponsored by Factor. Fall always feels like a reset. Between back to school, busier routines, and shorter days, finding time to cook can be tough. That's why we love Factor. Their chef-prepped, dietitian-approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious, no matter how hectic the season gets. More variety, more meals. Choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. Support your wellness goals. Enjoy even more GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good-for-you fats.
I love the Mediterranean diet. Savor global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter what your routine is.
I'm training right now, so just getting home and being able to have lunch instead of worrying about it and having it be healthy instead of making bad choices.
Very
is
easy.
Great.
Eat smart at factormeals.com/weeklyweirdFifty-off and use code weeklyweirdFifty-off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year.
Wow.
That's code weeklyweirdFifty-off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
All right, now it's time to get into the weirdest, wildest, craziest headlines from around the world.
Starting with the athletic event that Ricky is training for.
I wish.
Right now.
I would have done it. I was like, it had already passed, but I would have done it. And I have a friend who has a map for LA because it's possible here too.
Yeah.
But the headline is, meet the special type of idiot running the Taco Bell Ultra Marathon, where competitors eat at the chain 9 times during the race.
And they have these in every city in America has
The big one is
annual Taco Bell. I
The
think,
big one's Denver.
which I feel like that would be extra hard
Yeah,
because
because
the
you're
altitude.
elevation, yeah.
But yeah, they have to stop at 9 different Taco Bells, and they have to order food. I'm not clear on whether they can just order like the cinnamon twisty things, because that's what I would go for.
I think you have to get something off of like the main
Yeah,
menu item.
it's like, by the 8th stop, you need to have eaten like either a bean and cheese or a big burrito or nachos, and then like one of your things has to be a cheesy gordita crunch.
Yeah.
Which like those two alone are like 3,000 calories.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're gonna be burning a lot on this, but the funny thing is they do like bonus challenges where you have to chug a Baja Blast.
2 liters of Baja Blast,
which is crazy. But yeah, it is an ultra. I can't remember how long
50
exactly it is.
kilometers.
Yeah, so
31 miles.
Yeah, but they give, obviously it's not like you have to finish in any certain time, so you could technically walk it if you wanted a very, very long day. But
I feel like that'd be longer than a day.
Yeah, the biggest thing here is training your stomach.
Yeah, and like all the articles I read about this, they're like, yeah, and like throwing up, you're allowed to puke, and I'm like, that's not what I'd be worried about.
Yeah,
that's not the end of my body I'd be worried about.
Yeah.
Seeing how many fucking long distance runners shit themselves, and that's on like a diet that's actually like formulated for running.
It definitely does not feel good to eat after eating bad, or to run after eating bad food. Last night I ran somewhere and then I had a hot dog and then ran back, and it was just like, ugh.
I don't even like walking after I eat garbage.
Yeah, you should go for a walk after you eat. Many cultures do that just to.
Yeah, the fart walk, but like it's if I'm eating some like real trash, like
I want to see.
I want to be near the bathroom.
I want to see you eat a goo and try to hold it down.
A what?
A goo. It's like this. That is like you kind of do have to train your stomach for that.
The fuck is that?
They're like these little things that are just pure calories and energy.
Oh, that's the shit like
like
mountain climbers eat.
It's like a super thick paste.
Yeah.
But yeah, you eat it like every 5 miles or so, whenever you want. But
I mean, I'm sure it'd be fine.
The problem is like when I got into it, I was getting I was like, oh, what flavor looks good? And I got like chocolate sundae or something, which is not great when you're like 10 or 12 miles in. You're like, I need some fuel, and it's just like. Now I do salted watermelon.
I eat protein bars pretty regularly, and they all taste fucking awful. I'm used to health food or workout food tasting like ass.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
You just you chew on through it.
There's better options.
The loads are worth it.
That's right. My best favorite treat before a run is a Stroop waffle. They make protein Stroop waffles.
Do they?
Usually have before a marathon. And of course, your overnight oats, folks. Get your overnight oats going.
I'm back on the oats. I come off and on it, but this was one of my oats weeks, and like honestly, I feel so much fucking better throughout the entire day.
Yeah.
If I just eat a bowl of overnight oats in the morning instead of like literally anything else.
I'm doing 18 miles tomorrow morning, folks. When you're watching this, I'll be running, and I'm not looking for.
How many Taco Bells?
Multiple, definitely multiple. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. The rat of the famed Chicago rat hole was almost certainly a squirrel.
It took him this long. I feel like this was one of the theories when it
even at the time, but this was like this is an actual scientific paper.
Oh, good.
That was published in a medical
in Nature.
I don't know if it was in Nature, but it was a scientific journal, and they used the scientific method to empirically conclude that this could not have been any species of rat native or present in North America. It must have been one of 3 species of squirrel. Case
Chicago
closed.
could have been an Italian rat. Plenty of those.
Yeah, and you know what happens.
They're always
to rats.
flapping their
You
gums.
know what happens to rats. They sleep with the fishes.
That's right. Well, good news that's a fun update.
Yeah.
Way to go, Chicago.
Now we know. It's the only Chicago news. Nothing else has happened in Chicago this week at all.
Speaking of running, they did have the Chicago Marathon last weekend, and it is so funny, again, to have a global event like with tens of thousands of people that stretches through 26 miles of the city, a war zone.
Yeah.
By the way, a war zone, and that many people, and no one was mugged, injured, or killed. And they went through the whole city.
Wow.
Wow.
That's because the National Guard was there.
That's right.
Stopping all crime.
Nature's Labubu. Why are Gen Z unboxing conkers?
Because they're poor. Also,
They wanna
Labubus are done.
They want to compete in the conking.
Yeah. A year ago, I didn't even know what a conker was. And now all I hear is conquer this, conquer that. And yeah, I guess the Gen Zers over in Britain, they're finding those big spiky balls, and they're breaking the shell out and looking at the conkers they find inside. And yeah, I guess it's cheaper than collecting Labubus.
That's right.
So, hell yeah. And also, you can play games with that conker. You smash them against other people's conkers, see best conker who wins.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can cheat by using a metal one.
You can say, hey, you want to see a cool Labubu? and then you hit them really hard and break the skin, and then you go, how's that, Labubu?
Yeah, a little boo-boo you got there.
Yeah. Hey, boo-boo. Hey, boo-boo. Unicorn bride marries Kenny from South Park at Portland ICE protest. Sure.
In a war zone.
In a war zone.
Somehow they managed to get married in the middle of a war zone.
Beautiful, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, they. I mean, it seems like this couple they're really into protesting, and so like, why not? Why not get married during maybe the most iconic protest in Portland's history?
That's right. And you wouldn't believe the amount of zinc that unicorn has been doing, so that when Kenny grabs onto that horn, the rainbow never ends.
That's right. Did you see Robbie Roadsteamer got arrested in Portland?
Oh, the giraffe. Yeah,
Yeah.
and a giraffe getting arrested looks exactly as dumb as you think a giraffe getting arrested.
Well, it's like, the video of it's just fucking ridiculous. Because if you don't know who he is, he just shows up he shows up all over the country, and he's like intentionally obnoxious, and he just sings like karaoke tracks that he changes to like stupid fucking lyrics. He does like YMCA. He's like, Donald Trump was on the Jeffrey Epstein plane.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I find it amusing because he's just so aggressive with it. But he was doing that like on the street in front of an ICE facility, and they arrested him for trespassing, even though like you can clearly see like a line where it says this is federal property and he's outside of it. They like drag him in, and they found he was like he had weed on him, which is totally fucking legal in Oregon, and they're like, oh, you brought weed onto federal property. He's like, bitch, you brought me onto federal property. I was off federal property. Anyway, He's raising money for legal fees or whatever.
Put him in a jail cell, put a webcam in it, and get Toys R Us to sponsor it.
But that's the callback. But yeah, that's just every video coming out of Portland is like, none of them look good for this administration. They all make them look pathetic and weak
And stupid.
Yeah. And I don't know how anyone can look at what's going on in Portland or Illinois or anywhere else and think like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Donald Trump was right about all of this. Very cool.
Great.
German woman who stole ancient relic over 50 years ago returns it to Greece. Never too late to do the right thing.
And he got 50 years out of it.
They showed the picture of the relic, and it's like not even good.
Yeah.
It's just like, it looks like a piece of fucking concrete.
Good. Just keep it.
Yeah. I don't know what she was doing with it. It looks like a giant paperweight.
She probably forgot about it for 50 years. Like, oh yeah! Hold on.
I think she didn't. I think she was cursed the entire time.
Just miserable.
The
one thing.
A Greek curse.
Yeah.
The worst kind of curse.
That's right. May all your feta be spoiled. Mm-hmm. Billionaire Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker won $1.4 million playing blackjack at a Vegas casino last year. I was incredibly lucky. What?
I mean, he's rich as hell. He's like nepotism rich.
Yeah.
But I guess he's really into like high stakes gambling, and he wins.
Okay.
And I mean, he didn't even have this was like in his financial. I guess he releases his like taxes or whatever each year. He doesn't even have to do it, but he does it like for transparency's sake.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, anything I ever make at gambling, I just like donate it. I like gambling for the thrill of it.
Game, yeah.
Money isn't important to me. I'm a billionaire. I just like gambling. But he does like gambling. He's like he was kind of at the forefront of legalizing like all kinds of gambling and bringing
pivot to content,
bringing
like
casinos to
other
Illinois.
gambler guys.
Yeah. JB, maybe less gambling and more telling your own fucking state police to stop like brutalizing protesters.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to have it both ways right now where he's like standing up to Trump, but like the state police of Illinois who are under his direct purview are out there like doing Trump's bidding.
Yeah.
They don't have to fucking do that. So it's just fucking annoying that I like the guy a lot, but he's not doing everything he can.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more obvious when you see videos of like just the same fucking bullshit where like 150 cops in a line just start walking towards a crowd of people and beating the shit out of them for standing somewhere.
Stephen Miller is selling his home after his wife said that they would not back down from sidewalk chalk messages.
I guess they backed down.
Yeah.
People were writing things like Stephen Miller socks.
Yeah. Well, if
Diversity
you look at
is good.
how things are going in Florida, sidewalk chalk is such a huge, massive issue.
Yeah,
they have
send
to get 24-hour guard with the state troopers.
They got pressure washer guys on call 24/7.
They literally have them working in shifts.
Yeah. But yeah, Stephen Miller, he thought that some lib in his lib-ass neighborhood of Arlington, like writing like, Stephen Miller sucks, was like a threat upon his life. And his wife is like, we will not back down from these terrorists.
And then they did.
And we need to sell the house.
Where are they going to move? Anywhere that he goes, there's a giant black vortex that sucks out of the sky and follows him.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to see. So
Americans agree the First Amendment is important, but many are unsure why, survey says.
people are literally just sheep.
First Amendment. I think that's the one that says I can say whatever the hell I want.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the Constitution. You can say whatever the hell you want, and it's illegal to criticize me for saying whatever the hell I want. It's George Washington.
It's important because I should receive no repercussions for anything that I say. Not from the government or Jim, my neighbor.
Yeah. He's actually violating my First Amendment rights.
Yeah. I told him his wife looked butt ugly, and he punched me in the face.
My wife divorcing me for buying a Cybertruck? That's a
his
violation of my First Amendment rights.
Mm-hmm.
My freedom of expression.
People flicking me off is a violation.
Yeah. Their expressions are a violation of my expressions.
Yeah. Woman sends husband AI photo of man on their couch. Husband sends cops. Yeah, it's just like the story we covered earlier with the kids who were doing it.
She's in trouble. She's facing
sure.
like serious, which like it seems kind of, it seems like a bit of a stretch to me because she sent it to the husband and the husband called 911. They're charging her with making a false statement to 911 when she didn't fucking do it. Mm-hmm. Her husband, without even asking questions, like immediately.
Well, yeah,
and then
but like he was giving false information.
The cops sent like 15 cop cars to this house. They said they busted down the door and she had her cell phone on a tripod facing the door to like get the husband's reaction when he got home, and it's like, what the fuck? Wow. So she got her viral moment, just not the kind she was hoping for. But yeah, this prank is stupid. Stop doing it.
Yeah, please stop.
This is like a best case scenario.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
I know.
Cops do what they love to do and just start blasting.
Uh-huh.
Tennessee woman gives birth to record-breaking baby. Shocked at his size. Everyone in the operating room collectively gasped.
Everyone laughed when my husband ordered 17,000 grams of zinc. Well, who's laughing now? I got the biggest baby on earth.
Yeah, he thought he was making his loads bigger, but he was actually making the individual sperms bigger.
Yeah.
Like the size of tadpoles.
Uh-huh.
And when one of those fertilizes an egg, the size of that child, and they have a picture of the baby in here. It is a freakishly large baby.
Yeah.
Like, the woman had a C-section, and she's like, thank fucking God. This kid would have destroyed me. This kid would have tore out of me like a fucking xenomorph.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for chasing big loads. Don't go chasing bigger loads. Please stick to the regular sized children you're used to. I'm trying to do the giraffe guy.
Oh, you're doing Robbie. Don't go chasing bigger loads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hit song "Don't Go Chasing Bigger Loads" by TLC.
I love a fucking giant baby. Giant babies are very amusing to me. Because it's like
They look like little Michelin men.
Yeah, it looks like something you like left in the oven too long. Like,
I guess.
Or like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It's like, that's like a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
How'd that baby get so big?
They're growing them big these days.
This one's crazy too because they have like a picture from a few days later, and it doesn't even look like the same baby. Like babies,
they shrink.
I mean, yeah, he does look a lot more proportional. Okay. Like coming right out of the womb, he looks like Jabba the Hutt.
You got to look at his feet size to see how big he's going to be. Just like a dog. Get an eye for it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it for this week's episode of Weekly Weird News. Can you believe it? Another week in the books. Sure. There you go. Anyways, we have other episodes for you to watch. They're going to pop up in just a second. But if we could ask you for one big favor, that would be to click the like button. We got a couple other favors. One of those is leave a comment, reply to a comment, click the join button, support the channel, and click the thank button, let everyone know that you are supporting the channel, and then watch the other videos that are popping up. We'll see you next week for some more news.
Bye-bye.
Bye.